mbal kontona bake famille be sirinjang kabona cabinet ministerial ifele sirinjang bi na head of the civil service deputy director at the department of press na ambassador mi alon ko lebi jambi kabo China kata fotoki ane UN ibe jambi na senior government officials so fana bibi jambi ani mom yalan ko lebi jambi ani media journalist on mbal diala ni Mansa Kunda honorable minister media ina timobe mbetantola mbejala mbeni mbarala bi katabe kumala bake mboke di len dalal si Mansa Kunda ni ngam mom lañ am semaine bi di dalal ki ngam ne moy minister honorable Ahmad Samateh moy minister mi nga xam mom lañ dinka wërgu yaram gi mo fi ñew tay teewu fi ak ñi nga xam ne ñom la mo liggéeyal ñu waxtaan ak askan bi wax ñu li nga xam ne moom la nekk di liggéey si jawriñ bi nga xam ne moom lañ ko jox mooy ministry of health programme bi nag ñu ngi ko jaglal askan bi président dafa wane bëgg réeroo am diggante askan bi ak nguur gi ba lépp lu nga xam ne askan ba nga ko jànkuwanteel li nga xam ne mooy seen pas-pas li nga xam ne moom mooy seen bëgg ak seen xalaat pour nguur gi yëg ko waaye tamit bëgg na tamit li nga xam ne loola nguur gi di liggéey seen liggéey bi seen programme si initiative si ak li nga xam ne moom la ñoo liggéey seen policy si bugga na askan bi yëg ko moo tax programme bi ñu jagleel ko ñaari semaine bu nekk ñu si benn ministre benn jawrin ak ñi nga xam ne ñoom la àndal ñi moo liggéeyal ñoo toog fi jàkkaarloog askan bi mu wax ñu nu moo doxaleeg sectoom waaye tamit askan bi laaj ko tamit li nga xam ne moom lañ ko bugg a laaj mu wax ñu ko te nag am nañ gan gu màgga parce que ñëpp xam ne wérug yaram lu am solo la te ku feebar doo mun a def dara kon wérgu yaram lu am solo la moo tax ñu isi ministre Ahmad Samateh mu ñoo jàkkaarloo askan bi nuyu ñëpp ñi nga xam ne ñoo fi teew tey gis nañ honorable ministre yi fi teew tey ñi nga xam ne mooy minister of public service mu fi minister of agriculture ministre bi nga xam ne moom lañ dénka jàng ak jàngale bi tam mu fi ñu ngi koy honorable Habibatu Dramé ki nga xam ne moo jiite civil service par mu fi ak deputy chief of staff mu fi director of press deputy ba mu fi senior government official si am fi ak suñ ambassadeur yi nga xam ne ñoo fi nekka ñi nga xam ne ki jógee Turkey China ak UN ak ñeneen ñi nga xam ne tey ñu ngi fi teewu tey kon waxtaan gi tey dina neex dina humba waaw balaa ñoo sori nag lu ñëwee def mooy Mansa Kunda bu passé season 1 dañu bàyyi ministre mu wax ñaari fukki minutes wax ñu secteur bi waaye ñu ne wéy di gis bokku si su ñëwee wax 20 bi dañu ne politiciens yi wax rek dañ leen a woon vidéo buy won nit ñi li nga xam ne moom la liggéey si secteur su paree ñu jàkkaarloo askan bi laaj rek na ma lañ ko bëgg a laaj honorable minister will play the documentary for 20 minutes then we'll open the floor for Q&A jërëjëf.
That is what warranted the construction of this, under the instruction, the leadership, and the guidance of His Excellency, the President himself. So that's why we are here today. By the time this is completed, inshallah, it will be a state-of-the-art infrastructure that will go a long way in ensuring the well-being, inshallah, of the people of this country.
People in country.
Our investments are very strategic in terms of easing the burden of our citizens.
A child's first breath is one of life's most powerful moments. For generations, many Gambian families traveled long distances in search of medical care, especially during critical moments like childbirth.
All this investment is not for any other reason, is to touch directly the lives of the Gambian people, to make sure that the suffering they are going through to see a nurse, to see a medical doctor, is actually eased.
And for sustainability, for independence in the way we do things.
A child's first breath is one of life's most powerful moments. For generations, many Gambian families traveled long distances in search of medical care, especially during critical moments like childbirth.
All this investment is not for any other reason, is to touch directly the lives of the Gambian people, to make sure that the suffering they are going through to see a nurse, to see a medical doctor, is actually eased.
And for sustainability, for independence in the way we do things, for ensuring quality, we have to get our own. That is what warranted the construction of this. Under the instruction, the leadership, and the guidance of His Excellency, the President himself. So that's why we are here today. By the time this is completed, inshallah, it will be a state-of-the-art infrastructure that will go a long way in ensuring the well-being, inshallah, of the people of this country.
I think the government has a very good foresight in ensuring sustainability in the health sector. And the best way to do that is actually to train people in country.
Our investments are very strategic in terms of easing the burden of our citizens.
Today, across the country, healthcare services are moving closer to the communities that need them most.
Bakaramuro, Ninsasara, Yasinano Janatarial, Yamur Karamon, or Jenin Casoro, Ekanajan era swokon, or do Buka Joran or Membe Sambal Kokenava, Esi swokon, Asakeno Tulufula Tilisava, Bukara Karamon, Ona Narakam Baran, or Belo Plano Sora, a question.
Janilo Plano Kana, Benyamin no, anim bi Benyamin Mankelia, Manyatu Taba Sora, the Bayotumuntuka Karantabale. Ngata boro nyini je talata o talata sinya killing nin talata o sitan ka funtola sitin nga ramuta ni nga ramuta ngata hani moto nata moto nyin ka mo konto menta ni o mo sotota hani te be sasa te be wolu mo bayila le bo talata o bayila le sai be talata ko tele batula
ar janni moto bina wo wici don tema ni muso kono ya ma waranto mo sasat ka bata bak parce que taran ko ten mbulu jant moto te jang masimata jang hani sareto luotumo sareto ate jang.
From regional hospitals to newly established health centers, the expansion of healthcare services is bringing quality care closer to the people.
Tumonintingo mo manka kolleke karda mo sasata sina ina moto to ya sam ita boro nyini ita loptano do kena bay wulu me ya dandanga sija be laji fo fano ek par sa mbiri ne mo nata be mo sa talala ne mo les nata mur ko take mbula tan loptano kon sa mbiri ngani loptano ni soto ikatara suwo kono doron tingo yela moma ye kolke loptano de ko na mo sa sata ina ne nakam ita wulu na wulu te yana dingo tular la na geta suwo kono ite ila fo la mula wulu te fo na ya le tara jang fo songo ay ya bulaita no sol be jang do ko nyimbe betaren loptano tare fe sato to
Under the leadership of His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, The government of the Gambia has prioritized strengthening the national health system. Through sustained investments in infrastructure, the training of health professionals, and the expansion of services, the Ministry of Health continues to improve access to quality healthcare across the country.
The immediate vision of government is to have kidney transplant in the country, to have open heart surgery in the country. And that's going to be possible very soon because the German government, in partnership with the Gambia government, as part of the Gambia government counterpart financing, are going to build a multi-purpose surgical center in Farato, very soon. The process is ongoing, and we will launch the tender very, very, very soon. So the impact will be huge. And once we are done with 30 to 40% of the current work in Farato, you will see a huge U-turn. Instead of Gambians going out for treatment, you will see people outside the sub-region coming to Gambia for medical treatment. And that's very soon.
Strategic planning plays a critical role in guiding national healthcare development. Through policy formulation, monitoring, and digital innovation, the ministry ensures that health programs are effectively implemented and continuously improved.
Learning from COVID-19 and maybe a bit earlier, the government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Health, has also instituted regional rapid response teams in all the regions. So we have 4 sets of people who can respond to outbreaks at the regional level. So these things are just things related to the human capacity. But also, if we go a little bit looking at the systems we use, we've moved to a good extent away from paper-based systems, electronic systems, both for aggregate data, for case-based or individual data, and laboratory data.
Delivering quality healthcare requires skilled professionals, well-equipped facilities, and efficient systems that support patients at every level of care. At the same time, preventing disease and protecting communities remain central to the country's public health strategy.
There's a lot of improvement regarding the functionality of the hospital. For example, now we have our own pediatric surgeon. Until now, most of the pediatric surgery cases will travel outside the Gambia, and then that's where they get the care. But now, we do them all here, almost all of them. So the specialization has really helped. Now you have, for example, the urology now. They do top, they do very advanced surgeries. You have endoscopy. Those who used to go to Senegal, now they can do it here. So this, what it does is, because, for example, if you have to send somebody to Senegal, their ticket, the family they go with, if they go there, they have to start the test all over again. It's not conducive at all, and it's very expensive. But if you have to do it in Gambia, it's less expensive and less troubling to the patient, and you have a better outcome.
Across regional hospitals, such as Basse District Hospital, dedicated healthcare workers provide critical services to hundreds of patients every day.
So, beginning with, let's talk about the public health unit. We have the surveillance. So then surveillance was not very advanced. So disease surveillance was just limited to certain areas. But now with the coming of we've trained more surveillance officers. We have the number, the human resources, more public health officers. We're able to do a surveillance report of the entire region. Whatever is happening here, we have an update of what is going on.
Over the years, if you look at the government budget, you see that the number of health workers being absorbed is increasing gradually, year by year. And this also enabled the Ministry of Health to be able to deploy health workers more and more into more and more remote areas. So if you look at, for example, the number of public health officers we have, it has more than tripled in the last few years. And because of that, the number of health facilities offering immunization services that have cold chain systems have now over 113 of them.
At the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, specialized services continue to expand, strengthening the country's capacity to manage complex medical cases. Across regional hospitals, such as Basse District Hospital, dedicated healthcare workers provide critical services to hundreds of patients every day.
So Bassett District Hospital is the only district hospital of the Upper River region. Catchment area of more than 97,000. And also we see surrounding villages around the Senegal and the border. We don't only see Gambians, we also see non-Gambians. We offer a broad range of services, ranging from obstetric and gynecology services, medical, surgery, pediatrics services. We also art unit, we also have an art unit, also the art clinic. We also see ENT, those that we can manage, then we manage. Those that we can manage, then we send to the next level. Because of is the nerve center, I call it, of the Upper River region, we have a lot of referrals that come in here because it's clear that we have a theater that cases that can be managed in the periphery, that case that needs surgery, that they have to come to the Basse District Hospital to get their definitive management.
Across rural communities, new health centers are bringing essential services closer to families who once traveled long distances to seek care.
Wutumo nintuŋo ye musoo muta e ñantaari faada bañol ka ko nduŋol luwasagata doolu bu ka futa doolu ka wululu ye diŋol ye baŋ o doolu fana ye wulu ye diŋol tukool o bee mu koleya kool
1996 laa sëy fii ci sama jox waaye li ma sëy yëpp si coono laa nekk ngir lan man bu ma ëmbee Kunta Yàllaay fajooji bu ma demee làpp Essow laa demee làpp su maay wasin Kunta Yàllaay wasinee te loolu yëpp coono la li maay dox di wasin yëpp musuma dugg moto ndax moto yi amut fi benn moto moo fi ne oli yar la mun naa jóg fekk suma taami moto jotut mun naa jóg fekk suma doom feebarut sareet lañ maa takkal sareet bi mun naa nekk sareeti mbaam mun naa nekk sareeti fas bala maay àgg mun naa loru wala suma doom mun naa lor ndax dal na ma benn yoon maa suma biir bi di métti ma war a dem hôpital pour uti garab waaye coono bi ma jànkuwaate tax na bi ma demee biir boobu noonu fekk maa ngi nekk 4 months dafa mujjoon tuur noonu laa tëddee Kunta Ya am fa 1 week ñu discharge ma ñëw di naan garab ba bi ma amaatee loolu yëpp coono la woon fii
ndungu so tawi an ko gerte ndemɗa ko so yeehi ha a yeehi gerte de mbawata dañde haalis so tawi noon an a faawama e nder ndungu wiyete ala haalis a wawata ñawdude ɓiɗɗo ma a wawata ñawdo an e hoorema ɗon ko miijotoɗa ko ñamɗa surtout noon so tawi aɗa ɗaɓa ko ñamɗa ha so tawi pawle ari e dow ɓiɗɗo ma walla ari e dow ma ɗum ɓeyrima addan caɗele ɗum wonino ɗo hanki
data boobu affaire yi aussi ni moo ñu daanaka moo doon tax ñu doon rifaa nit ñi parce que li si des yow am na fi fu mu toll nii développement moom yokku na léegi moo gën a baax ni bu njëkkoon waaw léegi moom dégg moo gën a baax ni bu njëkkoon bi loolu amee nag dañ la daan jël yóbbu la Banjul léegi lu bari suñ théâtre bi mu ngi dox am nañ docteur te time boobu amuñoon docteur waaw léegi am nañ docteur am nañ yëpp loo bëgg a si wàllum faj am na ay fu mu toll nii.
The numbers have increased because especially with the obstetric service, like I said, sometimes we receive some patients up to from Badibi area. Though it's a bit far from here, but on certain occasions we do receive patients from Badibi. So and then also from the neighboring country, Senegal, people come here for service. So the numbers have increased, and it's increasing every day. Even if you go to the ophthalmology, the ophthalmic services, most of our patients are coming from Senegal. So this upgradement of the facility has increased the age patient out income. So we are receiving more patients now than before.
So the coming of this facility has been a big relief for the people of Jokado, definitely, because I understand from our data of last year, we had a minimum of close to 8,000 patients just at the OPD. So, and deliveries here. Just antenatal services that we do. So we have 5 outreach areas and 1 base currently. So we go to trek in all these places. So before this facility, Kuntaya was taking care of all of this, and most of them will go and meet them. So you can imagine before this facility, there was a big struggle, but the coming of this facility definitely have been a big relief for the people.
When this new facility was upgraded, it brought the healthcare services to the doorstep of the people living in the community here. Because just as what the committee members said, before, the women used to deliver at the home delivery. They used to conduct home deliveries or on their way to the hospital. But now, with the help of this upgraded facility or the new facility, now majority of the deliveries used to happen here. We conduct them here with no complications or delay.
It's an exciting day today here at Jali Health Center. We just delivered a bouncing baby boy. Both mother and child are in good conditions and both healthy. There were no complications, and this is why we do this, the job we do and the services we deliver.
Moments like these highlight the importance of expanding healthcare services to every corner of the country. For families in communities like Kiang Jali, having a health facility close to home can mean the difference between uncertainty and hope.
The plan on Yibia Soda, a Yalta Mendina, Unyata water back. Kadum follow, Ning Atra Konole Dimidron, in Imborosnale Plan Reborota. Ning Atra Molmea Timolama, ye no soli Kumo Foidon, in Imborota, while Hanimakono, in Isu Sony Sanya Moro Samanan, an Afro Lepiano Pijang. He had just Ulu Buljang. Nama Ulu Buljang, Yasam Jara Soma. Okay, and now we're all correct. Is I go, didn't know you find any problem or I saw a Sasat Lebang in Borosina Moronano in an Afro Nasa. Okay, Bill will bake it up. When you're telling Mendina water.
Ngalonya ni leptano be karamu shato ro aka karamu do dinul mako ila karamu katade bai ni mina ni na da leptano han yem wolta sharing e ka opportunity di lolla le yetol tri do yamuru yete la karamu continue ba wotu monu ni tada ni karam do dinul ni shasha ma wala otilo mumo be aka fola go shakata damendo aka tilo mumo kejele wolu mumo abukata karamu ba alhamdulillah sha mbili ni shotoda ni shasha e ma karamu do yenana njal leptano do abukata mi 20-15 minutes ato ye murna ye continue la karanga ofana mala nema cool doldi.
As the country continues to invest in modern health infrastructure, strengthen human resources, and expand community healthcare systems, the future of healthcare in the Gambia continues to grow stronger.
Previously, we only had one delivery room. Privacy was not that much very high, but with this new renovation, the delivery rooms, we made so that it has cubicles, and each person, each woman has that privacy wherein you can bring your partner or your husband, so that men can also be involved and know the challenges that women are undergoing.
With the new maternity coming, the impact is that men will be coming and they can stay with their husband in the labor room, and then decisions could be made earlier, and then action can be taken earlier to avoid consequences that might come in. So it's really going to impact a lot in the service delivery.
That will also have an impact in family planning, because it will change the perception of men with regards to delivery. Because if they see what women undergo, if you accompany your wife into labor and you see how labor is, then if your wife tells you, I want to do family planning to at least help to space for the children, that man will really agree.
Bi mbetunkumuntu bi ita amuliano la bila kadon bi be yirwa mum be waden kannan anin be shumbula ka yirwa mum kono bi nyatota doron na bije anin be nyatota doron na je kan anun hanin bota sayin be tembo men do hanin bota yin tembo to be fulara lado fadanto ada kelala ko komin ada kela nyatota baleti ada nda kela nyatota yirware baleti bana.
With this renovation, our referrals to Bansang are very, very high because for simple procedures, especially CS operations, that cannot be done here because we don't have a theater. But with this renovation, now we have a theater, although it is yet to start. But we are with the hope that if this renovation is completed, the theater will start functioning. That will reduce the amount of referrals that we take, which will reduce the burden on Bansang and in general the country, because referrals are not cheap. So the more we reduce the referrals, the more we are helping the government. And that is not alone, because we only had one small room where we call a kitchen. But now we have a utility building and also a maintenance unit, where that utility building has a kitchen, a laundry room, and also a general store, which was not available before the renovation. So that you can see that this renovation has really helped the natives of Lower Fuladu and also the staff working here.
We want to expand, we want to build more beds so that we can accommodate anybody that is sick in this country will be accommodated in a very comfortable facility, and that is far out. And health is wealth. Without health, you cannot work. So it's important for us to make sure that our health sector is in order. If you look at how much money we are spending for people to go outside for treatment, we're spending a lot of foreign currency. We want now people to come here, health tourism, so that people will come outside and have treatment in this country, and that will bring us foreign currency. So these are the advantages, and we will keep our people in country rather than traveling to Senegal or traveling to other countries for treatment. So we are improving our facilities to a level whereby if you are sick, you can be treated in this country. Even if the minister is sick, be treated here. If the president is sick, he'll be treated here. This is what we want. We want to make sure that that social gap, we close the gap.
Through these collective efforts, the government of the Gambia remains committed to building a resilient and inclusive health system that serves every citizen.
The future of driving isn't just imagined, it is created right before your eyes. Stop dreaming. Welcome to Asada Motors. Experience the future of driving with the cutting-edge electric technology and unmatched elegance of J-Tour. Conquer any terrain with the legendary reliability of Toyota, the absolute luxury of the new Land Cruiser VX, and the bold spirit of the Land Cruiser Prado, down to the raw power of our pickups, built to tackle any challenge. Whatever your lifestyle, your next destination starts with us. Visit us at GNPC Petrol Station, Fajara, or contact us at 200-0004 or 782-838-55. Asada Motors. Experience the excellence.
Bell Bottling Company, sharing happiness. Slow internet can hold you back. Now, the future of connectivity has arrived in the Gambia. QCell's Q Fiber, ultra-fast, ultra-reliable internet designed for the way you live. Stream your favorite shows without buffering. Power your business with seamless video calls. Study, work, and play online like never before. From homes to businesses, QCell Fiber is connecting the Gambia to the future. QCell's Q Fiber. Get connected today. Call 145 or 300-3779. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Thank you very much, technical team, for that documentary. I think the president summarized the thinking that health is wealth. And watching this documentary, and congratulations, even though if we wanted to show all the achievements of your sector since you took over, the documentary would be 24 hours long. We try to summarize much work in a 20 minutes video. And health is wealth. And I think you've worked hard to build a very resilient health sector. I remember a couple of years ago, there was what we call COVID-19, which locked the world down. A virus that nobody can see. With all our atomic bombs and nuclear weapons, we could not fight that virus. It shut the world down. That is why I said the health sector, I think, is the most important sector in any country. Honorable Minister, it's time for you to interface with the Gambians. But I'll use the opportunity as the host of this show to ask the first question. We want to build what we call a health sector, which ensures quality health. And to access quality health, you have to open 4 different doors, which in my view, once in place and able to open these 4 doors, you can now access what they call quality healthcare, which is universal. The first door is health infrastructure. I want to ask you, Honourable Minister, since you took over the Ministry of Health, what has been your vision and your achievements in building and enhancing the health infrastructure of this country? The second door is what I call the equipment. Because if you build the buildings and there are no equipment, still something is missing. What have you done to improve our stock of equipment, of CT scans, of MRI scans, and so on and so forth, X-ray machines across the country? The third door is what I would call the health personnel. Because if you build the buildings, you equip them, then there are no qualified personnel, it is still useless. What have you done to make sure that we build homegrown consultants, homegrown specialists, and homegrown healthcare workers who are competent to serve the Gambian people? And the final door is access to the healthcare facilities. If you build it and people cannot access it, there are no ambulances, then it is still useless. People cannot access the services. So if you can come to this podium and use 5 to 10 minutes of your time to answer this question of what your ministry has done to enhance health infrastructure, to enhance access to the facilities, to increase the stock of equipment, but also to build a competent healthcare sector manned by competent people. Mbadingol, mfodara tembole to mialon ko minister bina nyinin karol jabil. Nganyinin ka keling sota mialon ko lafta ayna ayo jabi danding mol mimbijang isi nyinin karoke. Ngajo ko president ngoy jiko sota do bake. Bawo mo million fulanin talabe gambe bankunkang, doctorol bina mialon ko bi nsafo ko wol fangoy londo soto honorable Samateh. But adaji ko aning ala londo president wala je aya tombong ake minister. Modi se londo soto bari daji ka kando idaji ko man kendea. Kala londo te nafal. Minister don lo mialon ko aya londo soto adaji ko betiata. President ngo jiko soto ato amu lanna moti ayata ake minister ti akay ko nani health sector tamandinne. Woto anyanda ka fon tolie. Bring yake minister ti fo sany. Ay moneke mialon ko nene ma jolo mialon ko minister mil bije mialon ko wolle benunji ani Mansa Kunda be benunji mialon ko make. Wala nan kay ko minister nini ka kilimbembulo bawo mbingalon ko jata kende abunda puray timma sinkirnani lo mialon ko wol nande ka timmale wala munti dinkiral nying nkata jarolo ke dameng ngani nin ka minna kabra sita fo sani ay dinkira du malle lo ani muntolong ani ayelo nyaadi la Flanjang wala material ti ka fami equipment jorangol ene dinkira le bungol le man jorangol kaje ale pitano man nafasoro nka jorangol ay jimal le sang ani be muntole sabanjango ani wolong na do kulal ngi karandi nyaadi le bawo ne dinkira lo ye jorangol kaje bare doctorol man soto oto man ke lopitano ti bungol dronno nka ko sañ ay mu nek simfa jumal tani ferol pour kaje ko mil kan na mol jara ya londo soto pour ka jara loke nani janga wala munti ka fotaw dinkiral to ambulance sol dong ebe nyaadi le fo isarta fo man soto andi ni sorta ebe use ka nyaadi le nka minister anyin question o jabi na parta ayala timo introduce bar jande be jabiro nyin kala timo flow introduce jumano jumat ani mala do ko ministry to yena na question o jabi nim parta ngabunda la ntene ajang ko ten kadante pari da jane sa mbe bulala inim banko dingo alsi jakar abar.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. First of all, I start by apologizing for being the cause of the late start. It was a rough day for me, and I want to tell you, being a Minister of Health in a developing country is a rough life. Since I left home this morning from the morning program in this very conference center, I was at the new food and drug lab to ensure that things are going well. Being there till around 6, I got calls of issues with 2 health facilities. And health sector, you cannot say no. You have to deal with that. So, but we sincerely apologize. Once again, I thank you all. I extend greetings and salutations to my colleague, Honorable Minister Sise. But I thank my other honorable colleagues here, Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, Minister for Agriculture, Public Service, Works, Higher Education, and the Deputy Secretary, Deputy Chief of Staff, our distinguished ambassadors are all here, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, senior civil servants are here, ladies and gentlemen of the media, our colleagues from the Ministry of Health. We thank you for giving us this opportunity to have an interface with you, by extension with the people of this country, to say to them how we are carrying the mandate entrusted on us by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, and by extension, the mandate entrusted on us by the people of the Republic of the Gambia. So I thank you all for your kind attention. With me here, we have Mr. Sanjay, who is the Acting Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Authority, the Permanent Secretary, Damfa, Permanent Secretary 2 of the Ministry of Health, Mr. Isa Marina, who is the Acting Executive Director of the Medicines Control Agency, Dr. Mustafa Bite, the Chief Medical Director of the Edward Francis Multi-Unit Hospital, and PS Toure. Dr. Toure is the Permanent Secretary 1 of the Ministry of Health. And I have a core of my team. Some are here, or most of them are here, so that just in case the questions are too tough for me, I will pass it on to them. Thank you very much. As you rightly said, Dr. Sise, every sector is important, and I keep on saying that. Before we know it, let one of the sectors not function. It's like every human endeavor is very, very important. So it's teamwork. However, that said and done, before we can do any other thing, we need to be healthy. So that means the health sector is critical. Education, before we can go to school, we've seen people who had food, they have all the resources, they couldn't even enjoy the food because they have cancer of the esophagus, so they could not swallow the food. They would look at the food, whatever good food, no matter how good it is. We have had children who ingested caustic soda and it causes esophageal stricture, and they cannot swallow even their saliva. They keep it in the mouth and spill it out. So what we do for children like that, before the definitive interventions, either dilatation or a surgical operation, we create a hole in their stomach and put a tube, and we'll be pushing food, liquid food, through that tube into their stomach. They'll be seeing other children eat, and they stand and watch, or sit and watch. This is how difficult it is. So that's why we said health is so critical. When His Excellency came into office 9 years ago now, what we inherited really was so difficult. We inherited dilapidated health infrastructure. We inherited paucity of equipment. I remember at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, as a surgeon operating in the theaters, there were times that we didn't have functional monitors. So we operated on patients without a monitor. It's easier to say those these days. But that time we couldn't even talk about it. We just kept on pushing quietly. So there were times that we didn't have more than one functional suction machine in the whole hospital. So the theater would have one. If a nurse had a critically ill patient on the ward, the nurse would rush to the theater to borrow it, because if she didn't suck the secretions out of that patient who was unconscious, the patient could have aspirated and died of aspiration pneumonitis. These were the realities. Now, of course, capacity gaps were everywhere. There was a time in the history of this country when I was the only Gambian consultant, specialist in the public health sector, entire public health sector, and we pushed on. Now we are happy. We have a lot of young ones who have come back, and we are training people, where I'm going to get to the training aspects. So when His Excellency came, he said to me, "Doctor, we need to do something about it. We inherited something very difficult, but of course, we need to make the difference, because we don't want to be spoken about the same way today we are speaking about the people before us. So we want to make a difference. So tomorrow no one can speak about us the way we are speaking today about others. But apart from that, we cannot also continue to cry over spilled milk. It's already spilled on the floor, and we cannot scoop it back. So we need to start working and working rapidly to ensure, because health services cannot wait. The person who is sick today needs attention today, not tomorrow. So that being said, but I also went back to him. I say, Your Excellency, you know what, I have a good idea. I think what we inherited is difficult, but maybe you put a stop to every other thing, and let's fix the problems of the health sector first. The hospitals, the equipment, the staff. Then we can talk about Honorable Silas roads and the other things. But you know, leaders gain wisdom from the Almighty Allah. Then he smiled and told me, Doctor, but if we build all your hospitals will need electricity for your equipment to function. If we buy your ambulances will need roads to carry your patients. So he was trying to tell me, in life, in development, things go together. So that is why. And being a developing country where we do not have all the resources, it's a challenge. But within those challenges, with good governance, accountability, commitment, we've been able to do quite a lot. And quite a number of partners did see, they are here. If I'm not saying the truth, they'll tell us. But I think they've become a lot more confident in the government and in this sector. That's why we're having partnerships to build infrastructure, to train people, to buy equipment, and so on and so forth. The health infrastructure, because we need to increase access. Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital was so bad. We had a a group of people who came to look at it from Europe. We took them around. That time I was the head of the hospital. Then they looked at the hospital and said to me, "Doctor, if this hospital were like a hospital in our country 50 years ago, we can say we can help you to do it. But this hospital looks like a hospital in our country 100 years ago." So that day I was very upset in my heart. Of course, I didn't tell them. I said, but this is what we have. So we have to do what we have. So we refocused and we said, let us renovate it. Let us make it habitable for the patients, and let us make it conducive for the people who are going to work there. And I can attest to that. I'm sure all of you who have seen the completed parts, some of the parts look like they were built for the first time this year. So that is how far we've gone. The polyclinic, that was an eyesore as we entered Banjul. Now it is a modern, beautiful edifice that we can all be proud of. But we have to increase access to the people throughout the country. So what we did, I'm sure you have seen the new health facility in Farato. The first phase is completed, and inshallah it will be inaugurated next week, Saturday, by His Excellency the President. This is the first phase of this 1,500 bed facility. It has modern edifices, equipment. For the first time in the history of this country, we have 20 individualized intensive care units, in that facility. As I speak to you, before that facility gets inaugurated and becomes functional, we have only 8 ICU beds in this country at the Edward Francis Multi-Unit Hospital, which are not even standard ICU beds. That's the truth. But the new facility will have 20. It will also have a training center and a conference center for the Ministry of Health. It will have a new public health laboratory. It will also have other facilities within that area. But as we are also buying a lot of equipment, what happens to this equipment? So we have built a very modern, big biomedical engineering unit that's also at Farato. And then we also train in biomedical engineers. Now, equally speaking, at Farato, because taking care of clinical waste in this country is a nightmare. I'm sure many of you wonder what happens to the bandages, the dressing, the limbs, the intestines we cut from people. What used to happen was they used to be dumped at the dump sites like any other waste. And we all know the danger with regards to that. And what we have done, we have constructed a modern clinical waste management center at Farato. And equally speaking, there is another one in Edward Francis Multi-Unit Hospital. We have 7 containerized incinerators across the 7 health regions of the country to deal with medical waste. We equally have 40 facility-based incinerators across the length and breadth of this country to strengthen service delivery. Now, we built, I'm sure you showed some of those facilities here. A brand new facility in Kisimajau, you saw it, Kiangjali, Mansa Kunda, Tumanna, Salikenye, and a huge one is being constructed as I speak to you in Jau. That will be completed, inshallah, and inaugurated by His Excellency this year. We had also built a facility, Brikama, Wellingara, Brikama, Nyambai, Tampoto, Makumbaya, Usumbala. They have health posts, and they inaugurated and functional. And as I speak to you, we've completed 6 health posts in Medina Sancha, Medina Angale, Buduk, another one in Jisadi, in CRR, and Kataba Umar, and also in, what's the other one, the 6th one? I'll remember and tell you. Somewhere in Jokado, is it Balangar? Balangar, yes. So I said, when I miss something, then you will chip in, isn't it? So these are very good. And then we've also secured funding to build another 8. And we've identified the locations for the sake of increasing access. And very soon, inshallah, we will start the construction of a new hospital in Brikama and Basse. So those are all part of the infrastructural development we are carrying out. But you have also seen that we have renovated and standardized many health facilities across the length and breadth of this country. About 13 of them have been upgraded, but key amongst them is the Biam Hospital. The Biam Hospital has gotten a facelift, brand new expanded sites, increasing accommodation for staff. The clinical area has been expanded, all to the tune of $292 million. A lot of investment in Biam Health Center, in Biam Hospital. What we spent in Biam Hospital is more than all these 5 health centers inaugurated by His Excellency. The cost of them is less than what we spent in Biam Hospital. So I think it's important for us to know the scope of work going on there. Brikama Health Center, equally modernized, and it has a modern theater where we'll be able to do cesarean sections now and improving the health services. So we thank the partners, World Bank, and the other partners who have stood with us to ensure that we are able to do this. African Development Bank, through the Social Protection Agency, is also supporting us in the renovation of facilities like Brikama and other facilities. Chairman is part of that, and other facilities in the URI. So a whole lot is happening when it comes to expansion, and we hope to continue this because we believe people should not travel for more than 3 kilometers without reaching a health facility. But facilities without the equipment are just like buildings. So we've invested with partners. Government has invested quite a lot on the procurement of life-saving equipment. We have seen all this equipment that were thought to be luxuries in the past. Now we have them all the way in the provinces. You saw those monitors, you saw those ECG equipment, and a host of them. So we have a lot of equipment now, and of course we are buying more and more equipment. But equipment, as you rightly said, and facilities without the people also doesn't make much difference. So we are building capacity, we are training people. Now, it will excite you to know that now we are training doctors to specialist levels in the country. Some of us all had to go out and struggle outside. Believe me, those of us who studied outside, we know how difficult it is, really difficult. It will tell you sometimes the kind of food we ate. I ate one bowl of stew for a whole week, warming it every day. And when it forms, I remove the foam and warm it again for a whole week. That's how difficult it is to study outside. So believe me, when we extend appreciation to His Excellency, the President, and the Ministers for Education here, bringing education to the doorsteps of people at home, really, we are not exaggerating it. People going to school at home, eating their parents' food, staying in their homes, believe me, is one of the best things that could happen to any young one. I think you'll believe me. So the medical training, as I speak to you, what we did, we told the partners, World Bank, you are helping us build all these facilities. For sustainability, we have to train our own people. We cannot depend on help from outside throughout because they might get tired. And of course, policies might change in those countries and we may not be able to get those people. Why don't you help us bring experts to the Gambia where they provide specialist services for our people? They help us train our young doctors. And they bought the idea and they brought in up to 20 high-level professors and senior consultants from Ghana and Nigeria, and they help us train our people. As I speak to you, we have over 120 young Gambian doctors who are at various levels of their specialization. Some have completed, some have 1 year to complete, so they are at various levels. So if you estimate in the next 3-4 years, all of those people would have graduated, they would have finished, we would have had this number of consultants in this country. I think this is one of the best things that could happen to this country. But of course, medical work is teamwork. The doctors cannot work alone. Every match, just like the football field, we need each and every player. So we are training the nurses. Nurses are specializing. Public health officials are being trained. Laboratory scientists are being trained. And it's also important for us to know that in collaboration with the Ministry of Higher Education and the UTG, we have now gotten a dental school in this country. And the first batch of dental students graduated. So we have homegrown dental surgeons now. And we've also started a school of pharmacy in collaboration with the UTG. So, Honorable Minister, we are building health facilities, we are increasing access, we are buying equipment, and we are training people to be able to keep those equipment functioning, and we are building capacity when it comes to health professionals to be able to work with those equipment in these beautiful expanded facilities at the end of the day to provide the best of services for the people of this country. This is what we are doing, Honorable Minister. Yeah, you said.
Thank you. So we'll go for Q&A. You'll be here, and I will take 3 questions at a time. You'll respond. We urge you to ask your questions in the local languages as well. Those questions asked in the local language will be responded to in the local languages. Honorable Minister, if you need any more members of your team to respond to some questions, they are welcome also.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Unfortunately, I want to ask a question in a local language. My name is Matar Jase. I'm working from the FATU network. Minister, lu ma la bëgg a laaj question ñetti question la but naa def ñaar. Recently, gis nañ ne soo demee si health center yi gis nañ ne prices yi dafa yokk torop si wàllum soo duggee foofu medical equipment yoo war a jënd après soo paree docteur yi suñu la bindalee ba pare. But unfortunately, ñu bëri dañoo fay xaalis bu bëri ba dundee am medical. dañ ne boo dama si pharmacie bi nga jënd ko out of spending more than 500 or 600 or 1000 plus. So bëggoon nañ xam ansaan nga yow sa ministry bi lu tax bring in that kind of xaalis ba nga xam ne ñu ngi koo fay ba pare medical amul si hospital yi. Beneen question bi gis nañ ne recently yeneen dëkk ñi nga ne Ebola mu ngi xew. But unfortunately gisun si sa ministry ngeen ñëw wax ñu ne yéen measures yoo xam ne loolu ngeen prepare pour jël ko bi di immigration pour ñu mun a cover border yi bëgg na ñoo xam foo toll est-ce que def ngeen loolu ak immigration yi or not. Last question bi
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. My name is Shah Omar Sila, former staff of the Ministry of Health. And I want to say congratulations and thank you to your staff for the National Food and Drug Quality Control Lab. We celebrate you. One, I just want to understand what will be the operations framework for the new National Food and Drug Control Quality Control Lab. In consideration, would you mind to collapse the MCA and the FSQA into a single unit of a directorate headed by a director general, while the 2 units maintain their operational arms? Second, on a scale of 10, Honorable Minister, what would you score to be the milestone for the implementation of the National Health Policy 2021-2030? Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Minister. My name is Bubakar Jabi, President of Iowa Students Union. So I actually want to ask you something. If by any chance you were to retire today, what would you say is your biggest achievement, and what advices or suggestions will you give to your successor to move the health sector to a level that you did not reach? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you from our brother from Fatu Network. Thank you very much for that question. But I think it's very important for us to recognize the efforts government is putting in the health sector in the Gambia. I'm sure you know health service delivery is highly subsidized in the Gambia, highly. In fact, the most subsidized. You had one of our people say in SL here, they get a lot of patients from Senegal. And it is like that across the length and breadth of this country. When you go to Soma, when you go to Bansang, when you go to Basse, when you go to Sabi, when you go to Koina, it's like that. Why do people come here? Because it is much, much cheaper. And sometimes it's also important, I'm going to answer what government is doing, but I think in life it's also important to know what prevails in other places. When I was training in Nigeria, when a patient gets to the hospital and they have much more resources than us, you know it. As young doctors, we will look at the patient, we call clerk, and we think maybe this patient has pneumonia. We wrote everything down, syringes, cotton wool, normal saline, the drip set, injection syringes and needles, the cannula, even cotton wool and plaster. We used to write it for them and give the paper to the parents to go outside the hospital to buy. They'll come with big bags, and then we start, that's the time we start applying those for the patient. This is the reality. And in Ghana, it's exactly the same. You can find out by yourself. We certainly don't want Gambia to ever reach that level, not because we are better, but we know, we understand the plight of our people, and His Excellency is very, very, very particular about his people. Anything government wants to do, his first question is, what is going to be the impact on the people, especially the ordinary person? That is exactly what he asked. But of course, you have also recognized the fact that the very free services is also not sustainable. Gambia is a developing country, and you know our resources are limited. The increments that you have seen, in fact, are still highly subsidized. They are not close to the cost value. I will also encourage you to look at the cost of services, the cost of an operation. What goes into an operation, for example? The drugs, anesthetic drugs that are used, the antibiotics that are used, the fluids that are used, everything that is used. Believe me, you will, when you do the calculations yourself, you will know that government is doing quite a lot. The challenges we have sometimes with shortage is because Gambia is a small country. We don't manufacture any of these medical items, except now we're happy that we have plants that produce oxygen. And I think the government and the partners should be commended for that. Because before COVID-19, thank you, before the COVID-19 pandemic, we didn't have a single oxygen plant in the health sector in this country. And there was, thank you. But now we have up to six containerized oxygen plants in this country. Bansang in CRR has a whole containerized oxygen plant. I think this is how far we have gone. This paracetamol, the fluid, everything we use in the health facilities in this country have to be imported. And how do we make sure we get them? When we get the allocation, before we get the allocations, these are tendered, suppliers show interest, it goes through competitive bidding, they are paid advances, they are supposed to deliver, but because they bring them from outside, we get excuses of delays in shipment and so on and so forth. So it is not an easy task, but government has put up strategies. And just to show you how important His Excellency takes this, he has set up a special cabinet subcommittee to support the Ministry of Health to ensure that shortage of medicines and medical products in the public sector is a thing of the past in this country. You also spoke about Ebola. We have released press releases. I don't know if you've seen them, but in fact, one is as recent as a few days ago, just to say that we have not had any suspected case. We've not had, of course, any positive case. And our people, the surveillance teams are very, very robust. We have them at the points of entry, at the seaport, at the border crossing points, and at the airport, and internally at our health facilities. So our teams are very alert. We have a group of, a very big group of experienced health professionals, public health officials and other officials who have been trained specifically to be able to detect this. And I want to even tell you at the village level now we have surveillance officers. People are trained in the communities to make sure that they report these cases if they should see anyone with symptoms of that. Zasila, I think, thank you very much for recognizing the importance of the Food and Drug Lab. It is a very, very important edifice. It is a very good national structure, which inshallah will help us to ensure that the people of this country consume high quality medicines and food. I was there this evening, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of work is being done. Currently, we have some people from the MCA and also the FSQA who are there, who have expertise in this. Now, we also get an experts, inshallah, from elsewhere who are going to come and help us lay the foundation, because it's very important that we start right. Consultations are on to get people from countries that have robust, well-recognized experts in the Food and Drug Administration or Food and Drug Quality Control. So very soon, it will be, inshallah, 100% functioning and moving. When it comes to the issue of MCA and FSQA, I think you'll agree with me in as much as for the time being, they are part of the process. But at some point, we need to regularize and standardize the operational structures. They are regulatory bodies. And then we have quality assurance bodies. In many cases, the laboratory would want to be separate for obvious reasons, for independence, to ensure that we maintain high quality, and whatever tests the laboratories are able to carry out, these tests will be translated to MCA and FSQA, then they will carry out their regulatory functions. I think this is a better model, and that's the model we are looking at. Converging FSQA and MCA, well, how FSQ started, there was a food unit at the Ministry of Health that I'm sure you being a veteran, you know, it was there before. But as time went by, I think it was thought that to give each entity some degree of independence and some degree of autonomy and to enhance efficiency. That's why they are separated. And I will tell you, when you separate institutions, getting them back together is a nightmare. It's not easy at all because of a lot of reasons. So this is why, but this is what we plan to do with the food quality assurance, food and drug quality assurance lab. The implementation of the health policy, it is difficult to anecdotally say what these costs are, but I think with all the investments you have seen, all the infrastructural development, the capacity building, and then all the expansion, you can see if I were to score how far we've gone on the health policy, I would say 8 out of 10, whether you agree with me, but I think we've gone that far. because what we are doing is we are doing the foundation. We are doing the walls. In fact, in a lot of cases, we've done the roof. So it is left to do the finishing. By the time we complete the Farah to Teaching Hospital, we have a food and drug quality assurance lab. We have all these health facilities. We have all this equipment, biomedical engineering unit. Then we have all these doctors and nurses and public health officials being trained. We have the field epidemiology training program. We have very, very strong, well-recognized public health officials who are very good in epidemiology. If you look at the number of epidemiologists we had in this country and today what we have, believe me, you'll agree with me that we've moved very, very far. So the targets of the policy, inshallah, will be reached well before the policy document expires. Now, our colleague from Iowa, if I were to retire, well, I'm sure the pressure of the health sector has made all my hair gray now, isn't it? So you think I'm close to retirement, but I'm as young as you are. But yesterday I saw my picture when I was being sworn in as health minister, and I said, was this me? I realized at that time all my hair was black. Well, but it's part of responsibility, a lot of stress, but we also appreciate the opportunity because we are as ordinary as any other person. So for Allah to give us this opportunity, for the president to appoint us, is a big privilege. We take very, very seriously, and we appreciate. We might not be the best, but it's Allah's decision that we carry forth the mandate of the health ministry during this period. A lot has been done. So it's difficult to select one single thing. But I think if you will allow me to make it two, one of them will be the capacity building. When we build capacity, we train health workers, it goes for posterity because these health workers will be able to provide high quality services to the people. And they will train more people, and they will train more people, and they'll continue training till the end. So I think that is one of the biggest for me. But the second one, that might look trivial. Under His Excellency's instructions, the commencement of community ambulance services in this country. I've not seen it in any of the countries in the sub-region. At a go, from our GLF, from our national resources, we bought 80 community ambulances that are stationed in the communities that are called to go and pick pregnant or very sick people from their homes to the health facilities. And you heard one woman talk about it. I think for me, that is remarkable. I'm sure you know what used to happen. When the president went on tour, and each time we accompanied him, we'll be taking notes. And the communities would lament. Not because Badibu people are interested, but what I'm going to say all happened in Badibu. There was, we went to a village called Kerardo, and we met with the village women. And the community bird companion came and said, you see this woman? Some few months ago, we were taking her to deliver in Kerewan. And now they mounted the woman, pregnant woman, on a donkey cart at night. We all know how donkey carts are. As they were going, before they could reach the main road, then the wolves started crisscrossing the road. Yes, crisscrossing. Pregnant woman on a donkey cart. They were so afraid, and the wolves will not relent. They were determined. So they had to go back, and the woman delivered at home. Fortunately, the baby survived. Then we went to Naulero, also in Badibu, and a similar story. Then that was a horse cart. A pregnant woman, they were conveying to Kerewan again. And now wolves came out again. But the horse itself was so afraid, he started running at full speed with a pregnant woman on a donkey cart without shock absorbers. This is what we inherited. And His Excellency said something has to be done about it. If workers, we could have 4x4 vehicles, certainly the pregnant woman should be driven in a 4x4 air-conditioned ambulance, and that's what His Excellency brought for the pregnant women of this country. So all the 80 vehicles are fully air-conditioned. They are Toyota Desert Land Cruisers, and they are serving the people. They pick them from their doorsteps at home to a health facility. They deliver, and a vehicle takes them back home. When I mention this in fora, international meetings, people want to learn from Gambia. So this is one of the legacies I would like to do. Thank you very much.
Well answered. Now, next round. But now, because of we have only 20 minutes to go, less than 20 minutes, we'll take only one question from each person. And Honorable Minister, if you can also summarize the answers so that we are able to give more people the chance to ask questions.
All right. Good evening. Yes, I am Maha Emso from the University of the Gambia. I have one question. I have two questions. One of them is with regards to the sick bay at the University of the Gambia. The sick bay at the University of the Gambia has a staff from the Minister of Health, but since after the staff have been instituted, we've not seen much being done by the Minister of Health. We believe it is important that the sick bay is equipped, and we are pleading if the minister can help us tell us why it is not equipped and what are the processes that you will take to equip them. That is one. The next one that I also want to point out, I said I have two questions. The next one that I want to point out is we've seen that there are a lot of nursing students and a lot of medical students that are going for clinicals at different hospitals in this country. But what happens is most of the time when these individuals are sick, they would follow the same queue that other individuals are following. We believe that it is very important that these nursing students, that you understand, when you go to hospital wards, you find 2 qualified nurses, and most of the time you find about 3, 4, 5 nursing students that are there that are doing a lot of job for that particular nurse and helping this country. It is very important that when those people are sick, the simple thing that we are requesting for is those individuals to have at least priority treatment. And the priority treatment can be in 2 folds. Those individuals should not join the queue, that is to my own ideology. And if they do not join the queue as well, after all that, they should also at least be waived for. If people are paying $100, these individuals, they are going back to the hospital to give the same impact that is very necessary. It is important at least 20% be removed from what they are supposed to pay, and at least they pay 80%. This is the request that I am making. Thank you.
Yeah.
Honorable Minister, my name is Rachel Chukebe. I am the Health Minister of Iowa. First of all, before I ask the question, I want to acknowledge all the achievements and also congratulate you on the renovations and the buildings of new facilities, which we understand are very important. But as a nursing student who is always at these facilities, my question is, why is it that as patients and also healthcare workers, we don't have access to basic necessities such as cannulas, normal saline, gloves, and all of that? Why do patients have to go outside and buy these things in addition to their hospital bills?
Thank you very much. Abaraka Bake Minister, Ndatum Abdullah Dabolti, Voice Out Digital. No question of bita damento welkere ni na private clinical ti banko kan. Jamaya complain le coming authority man sort authority body man sort mi yalan ko wala ba guy regulate kan comme membo ko food la karola wala bingara domoroti. But so lafta kalo ne fele ministry bo je mi ale o mi rosotol pour kaje dum ka bundalo mi yalan ko ni private clinical e be regulate la because ela standard mo ka question ne e kaje fan wardo le kay la dinu sambaji itol ka sasa min fa ani niya sama Mansa Kunda leptano because waru don mun fa Mansa Kunda leptano e ka jikla tele but at the end of the day will ka last result so lafta kalo do for private clinical atol dum ale regulatory body so mi yalan ko e kol fa na regulate ani standard lab je mi yalan ko e katani wala abarak.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We start with Mr. So of the UTG. Thank you very much for those questions. But I'm sure Prof. Gomez will remind you to acknowledge the ambulance we gave to your sick bay first, because we gave you an ambulance. And that was actually part of your request. It came from this Mansa Kunda when we are here. So it looks like Mansa Kunda is a good avenue for you to get your things done. So these ones too will be done, inshallah. So we will work on that, and then your sick bay will be supported. So from next week, we will look at what the gaps are. We did give these instructions before, but it's a good reminder. So we look at what the gaps are, and we look at what we have in our stores to ensure that you get that. And then the second nurse tool that you wanted, remember you have one and you want a second one. We will, the director of nursing is here, so he can hear me. So you take that off, inshallah, from Monday. Thank you very much. Now, the issue of priority treatment for the students. Yes, we agree with you in the sense that when people work in a facility, they should be given some form of recognition. But I think we should also not forget the other sick people. And I think Gambia, we try to practice. When I go to places, I try to queue. And I don't even want them to recognize me. If they do, they try to get me to the front, and I refuse, because I believe the other people also, as after all, sometimes we are going to even the same place. So sometimes some of the people queuing, even their conditions are more critical. So what we could do, in some places they have staff clinics. So probably we will explore the possibility of the nursing and medical students also joining the staff clinic. But it is also disheartening that we have patients queuing up for hours and they come and see people bypassing the queue and going in front. It's frustrating and it's not also nice. So probably we will recommend, we'll talk to our team. The directors will look at the possibility of the medical and nursing students joining the staff clinics so that they can get that priority access. So they can also go back to work and keep on supporting other patients. With regards to the fees paid, I think we need to discuss that with your schools because these things are not arbitrary. When we follow laws, we don't decide. Dr. Samateh doesn't say this one should pay, that one should pay. I remember when I was the chief medical director of the teaching hospital, my grandmother was admitted in the private block. The staff member came to me and I said, give us the bill. He said, no, but you are CMD, this is your grandmother. No. I say, go and bring the bill. We will pay, just like every other person. And then I paid. But you know what? They started saying, this man, the way he's wicked, if his grandmother pays, every other person will pay. And yes, every other person has to pay because my grandmother or my family members have to pay. So we need to look at that. But I think we'll discuss with the UTG because they are students, they are not earning, and they are contributing to the system. We can, Prof and myself can come up with some ideas that we'll present to government. But I cannot stand here and waive it. Government has to approve it because we have approval processes, right? So we'll take that up as well. Ms. Kebe, you did ask that we don't have from Iowa. Well, thank you. You are my counterpart. But your hair is not getting gray as mine yet. Very soon yours will when you occupy positions like this. But I think I just mentioned, because health services are greatly subsidized, sometimes there are challenges. But I think we also need to use these items in a rational manner. You work in the health facilities. You know sometimes the usage is not the way we desire. Because we can just open a cupboard and bring out normal saline and open it and prick it anyway. If it starts leaking, we put it aside and bring another one. Is it not the way it happens? Yes. Or a patient is at the emergency room, they put a cannula for him, they start the fluid and is going through the line. It's time now to move that patient to the ward. The deal is you close it, gently move that patient and hang it because the trolleys have where you can hang this. Or sometimes you may not even close it because that patient needs the fluid on transit, all right? But the typical thing is they will disconnect the fluid, close the cannula, then that normal saline bottle and the given set are discarded. And when the person gets to the ward, a new one is taken out of the ward. Is that not what you do? You do it, isn't it? And that is the waste. So this is part of the problem. But for the peculiar case of Iowa, now that you ask the question, which is very good, but the hospitals themselves complain that Iowa, your school should be paying to them for using these items. They are gloves. The hospital says, in fact, they put a lot of pressure on us that Iowa sends people and other private facilities send people to our hospital for training. And when they're undergoing the training, in fact, you send 20 patients, 20 students, and they will be using those gloves. Is that not what happens? So you see, now that you said it, Dr. Bitter will ask Iowa to pay from the fees that they give you. It's a good reminder, thank you. But nonetheless, government is working very hard to ensure that there is no shortage. And in the very near future, the shortage will be a thing of the past. But you see, we also have to be mindful. No matter what government has bought, we also have to use it responsibly as our own. It's very, very difficult to monitor a health personnel as to the usage of certain items. But what we do is we take it as our own national property, our funds, because it's our funds, taxpayers' monies that are used to buy this, and we use it judiciously. Then the issue of shortage will be limited. But the usage also, the wastage is a big problem. The CEOs are here, they can attest to that. So we will try to continue to provide more, but we must also use it judiciously. Thank you very much for that point. Now, the issue of the private facilities, Mr. Abdullah Dabo, yemi for eco loptanol, private loptanol mi along ko manke Mansa Kunda la loptanol ti mol ka joro ke daming. Dobe je ka kuol ke mimbi katani silola. Wara and we can mol charge and then ning dol fang batata sasa atol batata ike samba Mansa Kunda loptanol. Woko ketenye solar ballot. Andunga unit of sotole sign thing mi ya lonko aka private loptano la ko jibe nyim banko kan janning president barola Mansa Kunda besila nim private loptano mol fon la for private loptano yelela e biga sula license la wala be keri no isita drong ko mu loptando ko la leti ya yele fay bari ndol na ta jibe ko wo mo ke silote fo nga private loptano jibe now nga monitoring unit soto mi alongo sai janni be private loptano yella e kataje yeta loptano nyinjibe ye molla qualification ol jibe den yana permission o dila o be keri na sai bari ate danna woto sign thing nga bill draft bill fula soto o draft bill jama soto bari private loptano nsa ko loptano la bilo beje nga fomi ko health facility regulatory authority so wobina kan ne sambi bajel inshallah now what health facility regulatory authority abe health facility le bele regulate la jim banko kan hani government facility abe regulate la ning government facility ming jita standard ye iba sorona anu niya soron butu mini marsa je la butu wol balo na min nyanta kala private facility be le kono so sambi wobita cabinet nata da cabinet na pasta nga samba député bunto ni député bungo ya pass wobe kala luwaleti anu janna be fotolo temboto ninga a gazette inshallah al fanamba je al sala commentol kiji bara manda wala nga lab fanan labol min be jang system man taraje ndol nga min taraja min ka labol license ngo fanante kenola so nga min fo ka fo nying allied health professionals licensing wo fanan bilo beje ni wo pareta wala be lab solo ani nying physiotherapy unit ol abe wol be check la bari pour que banko molla jada kendi sawati ni alal de maroto nde danna wala nim public health ani standards bureau mbe kuol jibe kan hani nying babin salonol nying manicure ani pedicure nying musol kata dami ani gym sol ani spa mine bele jibela katu wolu be ye kuol sotole mia longo ni mata watama anda nyama abe molla jata kendi a tardendila so Mansa Kunda binawol be jibel thank you
Last final set of 3 questions, 1 question each, and make it very short. We have only 8 minutes, and the minister also summarize the answers. Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
Can I ask? Sorry. It's around this side. Good evening, everyone. Oh, sorry, Honorable. Is this side here? Sorry, all right, thank you. Good evening. My name is Nurse Barry. I am a registered nurse at Brikama District Hospital. I am currently doing mental health and psychiatric nursing at the American International University. But first, before I ask question, I would like to acknowledge, commend the Director of Nursing for boldly standing and actually giving a scholarship package for the first set of students in a while who are actually studying mental health. We believe this is actually a very field of studies and many people actually undermine it or do not take it. So I've had so many development, but I believe so many people in the general public are